First of all, she's a human being.
To me, being a woman means strength. Being a woman doesn't always mean physical strength, but it's the emotional strength to keep going even when the world is working against you.
Honestly, being a woman just means being me.
She has feelings. Even though a lot of times women's feelings are being classified as dramatic, I don't think that women are dramatic. Women just are very emotional. Women work a lot. Women have goals. A woman cannot be put in a box. You cannot define a woman. There is no fixed definition for who a woman is.
I was raised by a single mother, and a lot of my determination comes from her. I consider her my personal hero, for sure.
My mom was literally everything. She was the father and the mother. She was raising 3 girls alone. And yet she was making time to be with us. She was taking care of herself. She looked good. My mom is a warrior, a worker. She's a mother, an employer. She's so many things at the same time. And I am a woman, and I'm a student. I'm a worker. I am Christian. I'm a lot of things, and I am a woman.
I use my voice as a woman by bringing a woman's perspective to things.
As an MIS major,
An EMT,
being in both business and tech, it's definitely a male-dominated field.
In these high-stress situations, I can calm down the patients better than the men can. So I use my voice to advocate and bring a woman's perspective. There are things that I think of that the men don't always. When it comes to birth control especially, even the male medics don't understand all of the side effects. And so when we're taking like the patient's history and we see that she's, on a hormonal IUD or whatever, I'm already thinking about all of the symptoms and stuff, while the men just kind of aren't.
I just like to use my voice and own experiences as a woman to help spread awareness about the issues women face in the workplace, just in general, such as gender-based discrimination, thinking that women are not as capable.
I have social anxiety, and it can be difficult for me to be a patient advocate because it's hard for me to advocate for myself. So I guess kind of in that way, I override my own social anxiety and I kind of push through that even when I don't really want to, because I know that is what I need to do.
I used to talk a lot. I used to hurt people a lot with my words. I had to learn to read the room, because you do not always need to talk. Sometimes actions speak louder than words. I do not like being muffled. I do not like being told to shut up. I'm really learning to channel my voice and use my voice in a constructive way. I'm learning to have compassion for people. The way I say things to people, I'm learning to understand that people are different. The biggest thing that I want to communicate, not just about me, but about my faith, is love, because I think that the one thing that we lack in the world is love. Everything stems from love, like compassion, patience, forgiveness. Everything is related to love, and if we learn to make love like so much louder than hate, I feel like the world could be a better place. I decided to be in the media field because I love stories, and I have so many stories that I want to tell, and I feel like everybody has a story that they want to tell. I'm channeling my voice into more constructive ways. I will help people tell their stories. People have absolutely crazy stories, and I just feel like we need more of it. Like, we need more positivity than negative thoughts. Like, there is a lot of negative going on in the world today, and hearing some positive stories is really nice.
When I was a kid, I loved Star Wars. I think I watched it for the first time when I was 8. My brother and I would play Star Wars with our friends all the time. While my brother and his friends were Anakin and Obi-Wan and Luke, I was stuck being Leia and Padme. I loved them. They were really cool. But a lot of the time, I just had to sit there and wait to be rescued. And that was pretty discouraging as a kid. Like, I loved Star Wars, but I found myself kind of drifting away from it. It wasn't a place where I belonged. I was a young teenager when The Force Awakens came out. And I just remember being in the theater and watching the main character, who's a woman, and watching her get to be the hero, watch her get to have a lightsaber and do all the cool things. And it was just so special to me. I was beyond the age where we were gonna go home and play pretend, but it just meant so much to be able to just see myself there and every other little girl who had grown up loving Star Wars finally represented. Star Wars is notorious for its toxic fanboys who, anytime a girl says they like Star Wars, they're gonna quiz you about everything. I've met close friends of mine even who found out that I liked Star Wars, and their immediate reaction was to be like, oh, do you know who this character is? Oh, do you know who that is? Like, do you know what this planet is? When did this character die? It was just the fact that they were kind of making it seem like I had to meet a certain level of being a fan in order to even fit in, when I know that they never would have done that to my brother. The Star Wars fan base has a really strong presence online. I have had the great pleasure to find the places where there are women who are talking about Star Wars, loving it, and dressing up and discussing the themes and making an inclusive environment where even people who have only seen The Mandalorian feel like they're right at home. It's just been really cool to see how the female Star Wars fan base has come together as women to create a space where we can belong in this thing that we all love so much.
Being a woman, I struggled a lot with intersectionality. Coming from Cameroon, then going to China, being in the United States, the cultures are so different that in the end, whether you like it or not, you assimilate. To a certain extent, you assimilate to the place where you are at, and when you go back to the place where you were before, you feel like an alien. There are some things that have changed in you or about you that make you feel like you don't connect at 100% like someone that has been there the whole time. Women in Cameroon do so much. Any woman in Cameroon will tell you that she works. Every single woman does something because there is this need. It's so ingrained in the culture that at a young age, young women are encouraged to start doing things. I was selling candy in school, in elementary school, because my mom would bake stuff and she would send us to school with those. And as a child, I was embarrassed, but it's only today that I'm starting to understand. It's not that it's not, oh, well, yeah, we're poor, take this and go sell it to school. No, it's sell this. You're a little boss lady, go for it. Women back home are hustlers. I was raised with this mentality of hustle, hustle, hustle. You cannot be sitting down and doing nothing. You need to have that money that is yours. I earned this.
In India, they make these sand mandalas that are just absolutely gorgeous. And they put in hours and hours of work into it, and it's super intricate and detailed. And then when they're done, they just sweep it up. So to pull it, I have this nice row, and I just undo my stitches. It's not about the finished product. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey, because it's the stitching itself that helps me. Yes, I'm making a cardigan, but I'm putting in all of this work, and the work is what's helping me. My grandma originally taught me how to crochet. She is very crafty. She was a stay-at-home mom for most of her life. And so she would make quilts and sew and stuff for her boys, my dad. It was just her way of kind of bonding with me. She kind of took me under her wing and kind of taught me all of these traditionally feminine things that housewives do. And while I never plan on being a housewife, crocheting kind of helps connect me with her and bring me closer to her.